Hello, welcome to the tutorial on creating your 3D pie chart. This is by far the most challenging element of this assignment for most people. So we're going to walk through it, and hopefully when you get done you'll understand exactly what you're supposed to do and what not to do. The first thing we need to do, of course, is read over the directions. On the graph chart worksheet under the bar chart, create a 3D pie chart displaying the percentage of numbers assigned in the computer instruction column. Include a title and legend. Sounds pretty straightforward, but it's a lot harder than it looks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our data and we're going to copy it onto the graph and charts page underneath our already wonderful clustered bar chart. Now, there is a temptation here to go like this. Highlight your information, hit a pie chart, make it 3D, click on Next. Unfortunately, this misses a very important step, which is that you need to have the average data. So that's not going to work. Let's go back and look at our directions. 3D pie chart, we did that. The percentage of numbers assigned to the computer instruction column. I'm sorry, you didn't need the average of data, but percentage of numbers assigned. Well, let's go back and let's make sure we know what column we're talking about. I like to highlight it in a color because it's more interesting for me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of everything I don't need. I don't need the average, median, and mode, so I can delete that. Cool. I don't need troubleshooting. I can delete that. I'm just using the delete on the keyboard. I don't need the people's names. I don't need any of this stuff about them. I can delete all of that. What I need is this computer instruction, which I'm going to move over here. Now, what I could do is I could take this data and I could turn it into a pie chart, which is what a lot of people will do. You do not want to be one of them because it is wrong, because it creates a chart that looks like this. Even if you add the legend to this chart, it doesn't give you the percentage of the total. It tells you that the person number 1 had 7% of the total if you added all these together. But that's not what those numbers are. These people weren't gathering money to buy a gift for somebody. They were telling you their proficiency scores. So we need to get together a percentage of numbers, or a total. Well, in this case, the total is actually 14. There were 14 people. And each person gave a different score. So what we're going to do is we're going to identify what those scores are. So you could give a 0, you could give a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5 for your score. And what we need to know is we need to know what the percentage of the total individuals gave a 0. Well, let's look at our 14. We have 1 0. So we're going to put a 1. And then we delete the 0 because it's easier. It looks like out of all of these people, only one of them gave themselves a 1. So we put a 1 and delete the 1. Out of all of these people, only one of themselves gave themselves a 2. So we put a 1. Out of all of these people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them gave themselves a 3. So we put down the 5 and then we delete the 3's in order so that we know that we're deleting exactly 5 of them. Now out of all of these people, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them gave themselves a 4, leaving only 2 people to give themselves a 5. So now I should have numbers that add up to 14, and I can check that easily by creating a formula that goes like this: equals sum. And if my number in there is 14, then I did the problem right, and I have 14 total. Now, in order to have a percentage, of course, you have to have a total. And I'm just cleaning this up. So if this is my total, then each of these will form a percentage. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the title over. It just makes it easier when you're making your graph. And I'm going to highlight this information, click on my chart wizard, go to that pie graph I went to originally, click on Next, and if you look at that, I've got a 3D pie chart. There's a problem. Chart title should be computer instruction, but instead, if you look over here, computer instruction is part of the problem. That's a pretty easy solution. All I have to do is not highlight it. So let's try it again. Pi, 3D, next. Now when I glance over here, I have a legend that shows me what each element of my pi was, and I have a chart that actually shows percentages of a whole. That's pretty good. Now I can take my chart title, and I can make it say what I need it to, capitalizing of course. And if I want to get fancy, I can click on data labels, and I can give my data labels a percentage so that I know what percent of the chart they are. I click next. I'm going to make it an object in my sheet, and I drag it up here and make it nice and easy to see. Now, everything from this point forward is pure aesthetics. So, for example, I might want to move my legend up. I might want to take my chart and explode it a little so it looks kind of cool, or bring it back together so it looks more like a whole. I can expand it so that it takes up more of the page. I can move it around on the page here, and basically just generally create something that shows that I know what I'm doing. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at the directions again, and it says under the bar chart. This is under my bar chart. Good. 3D pie chart. This is a 3D pie chart. Percentage of numbers, and this is key. This shows the percentage of students that indicated these numbers, so that is also correct. And it is computer instruction right here. Now if I want, I can go in and I can change the individual pie colors. So if I feel this purple and this purple are too similar, I can change it out to a color I have not used yet, such as a bright blue. And if you want, you could even change your effects to show things like this. But that's all kind of details. The point is that it's a pie chart that shows percentage. If you have questions, be sure to ask them in the question form or in your individual form. I'd be happy to help, but I hope that this has also been helpful. Good luck!